Hi, welcome to Jadekind Gaming. My name is Adam, and today I have an unboxing that I am very excited for. Something that I've basically been wanting for more than 15 years. And I'm just getting started, and it's a luxury. It's not a need. It's Dwarven Forge. Three-dimensional, in this case dungeon tiles. And you can get by just with, some sort of mat with grids and some markers and plot it out, and that's fine. That's worked for many, many years, and it will continue to work for years, because this is not something that I've gotten a set, now I can do whatever. It's a small set. I will be unboxing Zaltar's Gameroom, which is the first encounter set for their Dungeon of Doom release, which basically was the release where they released they came out with sets that were designed to make a room. Of course, they're modular, you can make more than just that. But they, in addition to being their Dwarvenite, not resin, they're more durable and just a different material. They've now also added anchor magnets to many pieces, which means that they have terrain trays that they can stick to, basically magnets to metal, and that way you can prearrange things. So there are just some benefits that they actually came out with at the same time as the Dungeon of Doom, and so I was like, that's a good starting spot. So I got Zaltar's Gameroom. I've been wanting to get, since I was first getting into D&D, and my friendly local gaming store had a setup of the old Master Maze set in the store. It was the coolest thing ever. But it was so expensive, and well, I'm an adult now, I can make decisions, and I want the fun toys. So I have this. First I'm going to just open up, I got, in addition to a Zaltar's Gameroom, I also got a set of the terrain trays so that I can take advantage of the anchor magnets. So let's start with that, and that comes in this bag. And I got the set, so it's like two of the big trays and two of the little trays. And these are heavy. Like, these are, because it's, I forget what they call it, but the material they said it was on, it always sounded familiar, but it's basically, it's the top layer of a mouse pad. Like, not the foam squishy bit, but the fabric that's on top, that is the material that these are actually, made out of. And then there's, on each of the edges, they're kind of flimsy and loose because beneath them is a metal plate that the magnets will stick to. I have, I got the ones that are just sort of the rough stone on one side and the murky dungeon water on the other. I also got two of the smaller ones in the set. It just comes with a general thank you there. But yeah, so these are some of them, so you can build on the metal trays, magnets will stick to it. Also, there are things like if you leave an empty spot, you will see either rough terrain or water below it. So yeah, started with just getting the terrain trays as well. But now, let's get into the fun stuff. And I did get them pre-painted, having been working on painting some minis on and off for a while now. I decided at the point where I'm spending as much as Dwarven Forge costs, I might as well get the stuff pre-painted. It's only a small amount more money, and you actually, it'll save a lot of time. Oh, that reminds me. Also, because it was available for like $2 more than just the normal one, I got it with tote. So I got a Dwarven Forge tote that says backer of Dungeon of Doom, which I am not. I missed out on the Kickstarter by a long shot. but apparently they still had more of these, so I was able to add it with my, or get the, another one of the same, thank you. I was able to get this set that had the bag, so. Let's go in. What do I want first? I want this one here first. So that's the magnet I was talking about. So it sticks. These are all hand painted. See the texture in the stone. Stone on the back of them. It's beautiful. Let's keep going. Got a couple that are just the little single blocks to fill in some spaces. Got a nice big floor that has sort of decorative look. And definitely, I mean, as far as how, you know, you get them painted, as far as how that is done, it's very clear. I think, like, a lot of the plastic is whatever a base color. Like, they have the base color of the plastic is behind a lot of it. And then some of them are repainted in full, and then it's a dry brush. So it is someone basically dry brushing and using the texture that these have. So it's not like you couldn't paint them very well yourself. Definitely could. It would just take extra time. And I decided it was easier to spend the money than the time. A couple of walls. Once I get everything out, I'm actually going to show off a build or two. Oh, yeah. Okay. These have electronics. I'll get to that in a second. Here's another corner piece. That will be a magnetic wall. We'll get to that in a second as well. Okay, here's our other couple of corners. Yeah, let's see this one. So this wall here has this gate in it that opens and removes, which will become relevant. I know I'm quiet, I'm just so in awe of these. Like I said, it's been ages that I've been wanting to get these myself. Ah, yes. Okay, these were, I think these are also new in, were new when the Dungeon of Doom came out. These are passage wall pieces. So there's this, wall that if you put it up against here is the same height. But this here will go under, so you can turn, make a passage, add a wall without adding floor along with it. So yeah, it's a little metal tab. A couple just 2x2 floors. And of course these are 1-inch squares. If you take a Pathfinder Pawn or flat plastic mini, or even just a normal mini, they're all going to fit within that grid there. The magnets were holding them together. Yeah, so we got more floor. Okay, we'll get to those when we get the rest of it. A couple little 1-inch spots that have walls on them. This here is so that you can take this out. And now, it's just a normal wall, isn't it? It's like any other wall. Except this one's a secret. So you can have like a secret door. It's also pretty diagonal. If you're two of those, yeah. So you get a couple diagonal pieces, just to, you know, vary up the angles of the room. Here's a 2x4 inch one. Is this the bag? Yeah, here's the bag with the little specialty things. I'm gonna open up one of these little guys. See, this is a little torch, and there's these little pins at the back. Kind of see detail on there. And there are pieces, for example, this one. When you get it, you pull out the thing that's blocking the battery. There's screws, so you can replace the battery later on. And there's little holes. These are relatively hidden, but you can find them. First time I'm doing this, so I'm very... There you go. So that kind of slides on there. A little switch. And if I... Okay. It's a little light, little LED that flickers, lights up. There's also, in addition to the torch, little snake orb ones. They're this golden cobra head on the base and just have like an orb on top. There we go. So those will all go in there, and it's just sort of this green glow. And so any of the spots that will hold one, you can put either orb or torch, or if you have any other, you can do that. You can just turn it off. And both of these walls I saw earlier that I set back in there, they both also have switches in the back, and right in the center of each one there's sort of this little different shaped brick with the little spots in them to be able to put the torches or orbs or whatever you may want to put there. Of course, if you don't want lights in the room, it's relatively inobtrusive enough. You could just leave it off, leave everything out, and not have anything there, but it gives you a cool option for that. And there are 3 more of the torches and 3 more of the orbs, making 4 total of each, so there are 4 total spaces in here to put something. You can have them all torches, all orbs, or a mixture of them. What do I want to... This is cool. And this other piece that I'd put back, because it has this little symbol on the bottom. It is also special. Looks like a normal floor, and this one definitely could be just sort of, you know, set in with the others. Oh, nothing if you don't need anything else. But there are things like this. This is a little, you can see the spot on the bottom, it looks like it fell out. It's a crossbow trap, and it has a magnet on the back. If you just put it on a normal tile, it does nothing. But if you put it on a magnetic tile, with that symbol, there's a magnet in the wall it'll stick to, so you can actually, you know, oh, they triggered the trap, the crossbow springs out, you just reach down into the dungeon, put the crossbow on the wall where it was. They had no way of knowing until you added it there that there was a trap there, but it'll stay once they've sprung it, or if they manage to spot it, they can disarm it and find out. But yeah, so it's got a little magnet that things will hold to there. There's a little door. So just go on top of, you know, passages and floors, and on top of a floor it's the same height as a normal wall, but it's got a hinge. The Dwarvenite is slightly flexible, so it can bend, take the door out of the hinge if you want to, because they have different doors you can get with different sets, and you can put a different looking door in there, but this is just a simple wooden door. A few other decorative bits. I think this should fit, yeah. There's these weapon racks here, which have, you know, shield, bow, hammer, axe, club, sword, spear, another sword. If you want to just sort of tuck them up in the wall, they kind of just sort of sit between the columns. There's a second one of those. There's also a table, some decorative bits on the bottom. So there's a clock there, and what they use on top of the table, there is actually a little miniature dungeon. It's Zaltar's Gameroom, and it's in their, you know, they have, like, if you get the entire dungeon they do, they have like an adventure, and it's sort of the idea, I think, like, that he's sending you out into the dungeon, and so it's sort of a little, it's as if your miniatures can have miniature dungeons themselves. So, completely useless, but funny, and, I mean, you can find use for it if you want. There is the throne. So that's all decorative on all sides. It can, of course, again, like many things, it's sized where it'll kind of look nice if you set it between the columns, but it's decorative on the back. So you could have it out in the middle of the room, just sort of on any piece. But yeah, big decorative throne. I'm just curious compared to just a normal miniature. Yeah, looks like relative scale to a miniature. Just down to just the doors, yeah. Okay. And then the final thing we have is in a few pieces. Big magnet on the bottom for a big piece. 2x4. And you can set this in here, which ultimately comes up to a little. You can sort of see like the spot where this is removed, it's the same height. This adds extra height on top of their normal height, you know, for a grand entrance. And you can just have an open archway there. I know because Dwarven Forge loves compatibility with all their different things, there's a little hole in the top. They have accessories that can go in, and the shape of this and size of this will work with, I think, their city builder system. None of that's here, but it's just compatibility if you have more of their stuff, so as I collect more in the future, it will work. But then you can also add a door, and they have multiple doors, but one set that comes in this one, and there's little holes here. There's little holes in the bottom there. This way. You can line them up properly. And you get this. So now it's a double door. Will not go inward, but will open this way. And then the doors have, obviously you can flip them around the other way when you're putting them on, because this side has this sort of bars decoration. This one has this big fancy one with a whole bunch of things as far as the metal bars. But yeah, you could put them in either way. The reason it doesn't open inward is because there is a block there to stop it from doing so. But yeah, so you got double doors, big fancy entrance doors, and that's it. It's my pile of Dwarven Forge. Now, like I said, this is Zaltar's Gameroom, which is a pre-designed room that they have. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set you aside, and I'm going to go onto their website. They have directions for how to build the room, and I'm going to put together the room as they designed it. We'll look at that, and then I'm going to figure out something on my own, because I want to play with my fun new toys. Like I said, I've been wanting this for a long time. Very happy. I really am. It is so nice. It feels nice. It looks beautiful. It meets my expectations for being $130-ish plus shipping, plus like 50 whatever for these. So just the Zaltar's Gameroom. I mean, it's expensive. And if you want to get more and more, this is a relatively cheap one of their sets. But it's so cool. It's definitely a luxury gaming product. But yeah, I'm going to build Zaltar's Gameroom. And I'm back. That was actually pretty easy. Ultimately, the directions that they have you can download on the website are very simple to follow. And so I've built Zaltar's Gameroom. Which is, most of it fits on this, what is 12 by 12 tile. The little front entryway I have hanging off of it. And actually used the mats I recently got that had the texture, just so you can kind of do that. And you can, of course, draw, if it's a cavern entrance or whatever, on the mat from here. But you can just kind of line them up with the grid. And if you don't have enough tiles, you can use them for a room and carry on beyond them outside of it. So you can have your guys kind of come across it, whether normal minis or some other type. Obviously, when you have the fancy looking terrain, the normal minis are going to look better, but whatever you got, right? It's kind of my way I've been doing games. Yeah, so I'll just take a look here, some close-ups. Definitely noteworthy that the, if you do have your pawns in here, they are above the ceiling, whereas the minis do basically and that might fit below the level of the tiles. And we got a door that opens here. Of course, until they start messing with these doors, you might have that just as a blank wall and throw it up there when they do mess with the doors, because it shoots at them. You got all these little torches burning here. It uses all the torches. I have the orbs left over. And I put the bars in there, the secret doors left over. We got here at the throne. We get the weapon racks in the corner. The table and the little mini dungeon on it in the middle of the room. Just the fact that I can do shots like that. That looks so beautiful. Actually, I wonder. Boom, boom, boom. But yeah, so you can get down and you can look at it, and it's beautiful. And it definitely makes me want to actually go through and paint more minis. As is, these aren't necessarily even finished. I got them playable, and it's as far as I got, but I've been thinking for a while, I need to touch up some details on the face and such, but if I'm going to do 3D terrain, I need to make the minis look nicer. But I have so many of these pawns, so. But yeah, so there's Zaltar's game room. And then, because this is modular, you can build whatever, I figure, if you give me another few minutes, I'm going to design a dungeon, room, whatever, of my own creation and see what I can come up with as just one alternative with the exact same pieces. So, one moment. And that was both fun and challenging. Definitely a feeling of more pieces could lead to more options. There are points where I got to, well, I can't close off this room. I would need this shaped piece or such and such. So definitely, it was definitely something with, if I had more, I could do more, which is gonna feed the addiction. But I was able to come up with something I thought was pretty cool with just what I have on my own as well. And so you have whatever room, and I have just sort of like an entranceway here with the double doors that comes in. And then I have a couple options. I could take that crossbow trap and attach it right here, and as soon as they open the doors, it shoots them there. So that's option one. But there's this room, and we got the little snake orbs, using those here on this side, and sort of a big room. And over on the far end, we have our little fancy area, some weapon stands, a table, throne. But throne, of course, could be tossed aside, and perhaps when that happens, that's when the other option for where the trap could be would come in, coming up from the opposite wall, because there could be a secret door on this end. So they open the secret door, and we fly in on this little mini tray, the tunnel that comes away from here, and it's a little bitty tunnel with a few of the more of the snake orbs and a little door that opens up into whatever is beyond on the far end. But yeah, so we have a little dungeon that used a secret door hidden behind a chest, a couple spots. I mean, if I had two of the crossbow traps, I could have it in both spots. But, of course, they're both magnets, so we have options for there. But yeah, quite lovely. And that that used everything except the torches, of course, because I used the orbs, the bars, because I used the door, and I didn't use the little mini dungeon, because, well, what purpose? Yeah, so there is a dungeon I was able to build on my own, just using the exact same pieces. Of course, as you collect more, you can build more, and I want more now. I knew that was all too likely to happen. I get started, I'm gonna want to start to collect it. But yeah, it's cool. It is beautiful. It makes me feel like I need to paint more miniatures rather than using the Pathfinder pawns. Yeah. And like I said, I've been wanting it for years. So, I'm pleased with my investment. It's not cheap. It's definitely a luxury. It's not necessary. You can play D&D forever without it. But it's cool. Anyways, if you have any of the Dwarven Forge, let me know what you got, if you have specific, these are the most useful pieces, these ones I get so much functionality out of, or whatever it may be. Let me know, because I will be now thinking about where to invest moving forward, what to get next, basically. But yeah, thank you for watching. I will link down below, probably just directly to Dwarven Forge's site where you can pick this up. If you're interested in getting into three-dimensional dungeon terrain yourself, yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Always appreciated. Bye.